Hola chicos y chicas, espero que se encuentren muy bien. So today we're going to be talking about the meaning of proverbs. Now we have just finished talking about sayings and idioms. If you have not watched those videos, go ahead and watch them. Now I recommend that you pay close attention to the one that is about the sayings because I explain how you can complete the homework since the homework is not going to be done digitally, but it could. If you go see the video, you'll understand what I mean. So I'm going to go ahead and just start. Remember to watch the video on sayings to know how to complete the homework because this is not digital homework. You have to do it in your packet, but go watch that video. Anyway, so meaning of proverbs. The proverbs are gems of wisdoms. Enable people to connect using the wisdom of the past. So proverbs are also used to make a person think deeply about their actions, expressing an obvious truth. Proverbs are used a lot because of their universality, so where everyone can relate to them. So these the proverbs, unlike the sayings and the idioms, are probably going to be understood by more people even outside of your own culture because they're so universal. Okay, so these are some examples along with their definitions. Okay, example number one: actions speak louder than words. And I am pretty sure you've heard this one. If I have not said it to you, I am sorry, but I'm going to say it to you right now. Actions speak louder than words. This means that it is easy to make lofty promises, but very difficult to actually act. So act accordingly or follow them through. So actions are a reflection of a not of a man's character, of a person's character, not just one man, of a person's character. That means anybody. If somebody promised me, like if you were to promise me to finish all the work, you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I haven't done any of the work, teacher, for last week. I promise I will have it done by tomorrow. Then I'm going to be like, you know what? Actions speak louder than words. I'm not going to believe you until I see that homework turned in. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. All that glitter is not gold. All that glitters is not gold. Ooh, this is a nice one. Okay, so all that glitters is not gold. This is an often quoted proverb, which means that anything which attracts you because of its external appearance may not be that worthwhile to use. So if something is just too pretty, it doesn't mean that it actually has value. Let me say that again. If something is like, if you see an object or even a person that is too pretty, so if I see a coffee mug, actually for me it would be tea, right, kids? If I see a tea mug, um, and it is just the most beautiful tea mug I've ever seen, it's still not worth it because I already have a tea mug that works well enough for tea. Okay, so just because something is prettier, it doesn't mean that the worth is better. You get me? So the inherent quality may not be good, but the exterior looks allures people. So once again, it's like, why am I going to buy or get a new tea mug that is just the most beautiful tea mug I've ever seen when I have one that works perfectly back at home? Like it's just a tea. It's just for tea. So it doesn't have to be pretty. Okay. Always put your best foot forward. This form is very common, and actually I think we had one very similar to this in the Spanish version. This form is very common piece of advice that whenever one participates in any event or makes up an important assignment, um, this is oh, sorry, I read this wrong. This form is a very common piece of advice that is given to anyone whenever one participates in any event or takes up an important assignment. So it basically means that must one always try to give their best effort, not shot, because that's also using a saying. So you always give your best effort. As my nephew is here, he wants to interrupt you guys. I'm gonna ignore him. Let's ignore him. So you always give your best effort. You always try. You continue trying, and as we all universally know, that is basically the fruit of our labor. So if you continue trying and if you give your best effort, then you will end up with results. Basically, that's what it is. So put your best foot forward, because you will end up with good results if you continue trying and you put in your best effort. Okay, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So actually, if you can watch videos about this, because it is very, very interesting. Doctors talking about this and why they say this is actually true. In order to keep fit and healthy, not unhealthy, I was going to say unhealthy, you heard that? In order to keep fit and healthy, a healthy diet and a regular routine are required. It says that if an apple is eaten every day, a healthy fruit on a regular basis, it will keep you healthy, and you will have to visit the doctor less often, because let's be honest, you should be going to the doctor to regular checkups, even if you're not sick, to just make sure that everything is good. But it should keep you from the doctor and going to the doctor less often. Okay, better late than never. Well, we love this expression. As a teacher, I love this expression, because I know that there are certain students that are constantly late, but it is better late than never. So this means that it's better to show up for something than not show up at all, right? I would rather have my students arrive late than not have my students not show up at all. So I kind of already told you I kind of already told you the meaning, but let me just go ahead and read what is typed in here. It is used for people who do not finish a given task on time. It is acceptable that the person finishes a little bit late, using more time than not attempting at all. So this is the meaning in here. They're talking about finishing a project or anything. Yes, it is also better late than never, because it is better to turn in something late than to turn in something not at all. So if I were to assign the work, actually this is perfect, because several of you have turned in work for this distance learning late, but it is better to turn it in late than not turn it at all, because then I don't know if you're actually doing the work, right? But it also applies to arrival time. So, but it better to show up late than not to show up at all. Every dog has his day. That is true. Okay, so let me talk about this. It is used to motivate a person. It means that even the unluckiest or the most unfortunate person will gain success at some point in their time. And now, gain success, I want to talk about that, because I think that the mentality that most of my students have, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below, but I think everybody believes, not everybody, but most of my students believe that success, at least when you're an adult, means that you are rich and famous, rich or famous, or both, right? And that is not true. If you're having a bad day, success can mean somebody asking you how you feel and making you feel better. That is enough success at some point, okay? So every dog has his good day could literally mean something as simple as somebody making you feel better, and you accomplishing something small. Like, for example, you've been struggling in your math every single day, and then but you keep trying, and you take the test, and you get, for each standard you get a 3, but then you only get like a score of 1, and that's a good day, because you've been struggling but you passed almost every single standard, and that is perfectly fine. That is you succeeding at something, okay? So every dog has a good day doesn't have to necessarily mean gain success, doesn't mean that you will eventually get rich. That is not what it means, okay? Okay, so if you do not need me to read everything out loud, like this little parts out loud, then you can go ahead and pause this video or end this video and be done with it. But if you need it read out loud, go ahead and continue. I'm going to continue. And sorry for speaking so much for this, but I I love proverbs, idioms, and sayings. Like I just have stuff to say, kids. Okay, so I'm going to continue into the read out loud. Um, you have probably heard many proverbs in your life and not realized it. I'm pretty sure some of you have heard some of the ones that we just talked about. And see how many you know by filling in the missing half of the proverbs below. Now, I am going to give you a tip. And if you're one of the students that continued with the video, you are going to basically succeed in this, and it's not cheating, because you're not cheating, you're just making your research. Okay, so if you do not know any of these, or if you only know very few, that is okay. But you know what, you can go ahead and get more knowledgeable in these by asking Google. Okay, so you can open a new tab, go ahead, and then you can start by typing the first part. Absence makes. Let's see what happens. I mean, see if I'm spelling it right, because I haven't spelled in a long time. Absence. I know. Absence makes. Oh, look! The heart grow fonder. I can't speak and type, kids. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So what is this? And it takes, look, and it gives you the meaning. So the describes the feeling of greater affection between friends and just, I'm gonna put it at that. Friends and lovers who are kept apart. So how many of you have been missing your friends so much since the quarantine happened? This proverb will apply to you. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So if you do not know any of this, you can always go ahead and start typing it in Google and see what you get. And it is not cheating. I know some of you are like, teacher, but that's cheating. No, that is not cheating. That is you going ahead and making your research. So doing research, right? Finding your answers. It is not cheating, because this is not a quiz. This is not me trying to quiz you how much you know. It is me trying to make sure that you are more educated in Proverbs, so that next year when you see me, you can go ahead and say some of this to me and see whether I know them or not. Okay, so I'm going to continue, and I'm not going to be looking at them on Google, but I did for absence makes the heart grow fonder. Okay, number 2 is if you want something done right, even a broken clock, a friend in need, a little bit of knowledge, a journey of 1,000 miles, and you finish. Remember, you're finishing the Proverbs. All's fair, all work and no play. Better safe, better the devil you know. Don't judge a man until. Don't talk the talk unless you can. Okay, so the next part, it is your turn. What do you think the meaning of the following proverb is? Nook. The clothes do not make the man. A leopard can't change its spots. Don't judge a book by its cover. A person is known by the company he keeps. So go ahead and write what you think they mean. But remember, you can also ask Google. This is not a quiz. This is you gaining knowledge, okay? You gaining knowledge. So you can go ahead and ask Google. I give you permission. If anybody tells you anything, you can send them my way. Okay, so the next videos are going to be about the math. So please go to the math section to see the videos. Remember, you're making all the work in the homework packet, and you can watch the video on the sayings to know how you can turn in work digitally. Ok, chicos y chicas, los veo, digo, no me van a ver. Me escuchan en el próximo video y perdón por el. I just keep talking. I'm sorry. I miss you guys. Okay, adios.